Hi everybody, I'm Brett Jocker. It's time right now to show you guys one of my top 10 lists. Now, how many of you have heard about the NES Mini? Most of you, huh? Well, a lot of people were buying them non-stop when they first came out on November 11th and beyond. And I tried to get one myself, but unfortunately I couldn't. I couldn't find them anywhere. They were being sold like hotcakes and stuff. And as you guys are aware, recently the NES Mini got discontinued, which is a drag. And there were 30 games on it. Sorry. And a lot of people had a favorite game that was either on the NES Mini or not, and a lot of people were wondering if that game should have been on the NES Mini or whatnot. And we all have opinions about what NES game should have been on the NES Mini and stuff. So therefore, I thought I'd show you guys the top 10 NES games that should have been on the NES Mini, in my opinion. Okay, let's get started. Okay. Alright, number 10 is Arkanoid. Now, Arkanoid was a really cool puzzle game. It was like Breakout, only different. And you had to use this paddle to hit the balls up on the pods to get points and power-ups and stuff, like making the paddle grow bigger, or lasers, or going to a warp zone, or getting a free life and stuff. Yeah, it was a really cool game and stuff, and the power-ups and the gameplay was really amazing. And my favorite power-ups were the laser, which was the red power-up, and growing the paddle bigger, which was the dark blue. And if you got a gray one, you get a free life, and you get a pink one, you go to a warp zone, go to the next level, and it's a really good game. Okay. Number 9 is Faxanadu. Now, Faxanadu was a really cool role-playing game. It was about this character named Faxanadu who went into this world, which was under an evil curse, being attacked by these dwarves and other animals and other creatures, that were under a mysterious spell from an evil one. And he had to search all around for power-ups and magic and everything. It's a really cool role-playing game, like The Legend of Zelda and stuff, only different. And gameplay is cool, and the music's really great. It's a really good game. Okay, number 8 is Battletoads. Personal favorite of mine. Now, Battletoads, as you know, was a really cool game, which featured 3 characters: the Battletoads, Rash, Zitz, and Pimple. And you played as either Rash or Zitz, and you had to save Princess Angelica and Pimple from the Dark Queen. And and you had to go to all these unusual planets and levels and stuff. And music and gameplay is pretty good, except, I gotta be honest with you, I've never in my life gotten out of level 3, the Turbo Tunnel. I've gotten close a few times, but either way, it's a fun game regardless, and I hope soon to get out of that level eventually. But regardless of that, the gameplay and everything's pretty good, and it's a really good game. Okay, number 7, another personal favorite of mine, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, that was based on the popular cartoon, of course, which featured the Turtles, Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello. And it was a really cool game. The gameplay is fun, and it's great, and the music's pretty good too. You had to go through these areas, try to defeat all these unusual creatures, and defeat members of the Foot Clan and stuff. And it's really fun. Teenage Mutant Turtles was good, and so was the sequel, and the third version, the Manhattan Project. And the thing you may notice on the artwork of the first game, all the characters are wearing red instead of their colors, like red and blue and orange and purple, which is kind of different. But either way, the gameplay is good, and they got good weapons and stuff. It's pretty fun. Okay, number 6 is Paperboy. One of the easiest NES games I've ever played. It was a target-hitting game of skill, basically, and you had to throw papers to your subscribers, had to deliver as many papers as you can to your subscribers and stuff. And the music it's just fabulous. The music's really awesome, and the gameplay and everything. And after you complete all the houses, you get to go to an obstacle course or a training course to get bonus points. And if you throw it in the mailbox, you get 750 points. If you throw it at the door, you just get 300. And my high score is about close to 125,000. I'm trying very hard to beat that. But the different thing was, the Paperboy only had 1 week, but Paperboy 2 only had 3 weeks with a new route each day. Same with Paperboy 1. And the music in Paperboy 2 is good too. It's really good gameplay. Okay, number 5 is Duck Hunt. Now, as you are aware, the NES Mini did not allow the NES Zapper or anything. It didn't have a little zapper. But if it did, Duck Hunt would be cool on it. Duck Hunt basically was really good. You had to shoot all the ducks or clay pigeons, and while you shoot the ducks, there was this bloodhound or dog who collects them. And when I was little, I always liked the sound effect that the dog, when the dog had the duck in his hand, made. That da-da-da-da-da-da. It's really good. And one of the first games I ever played. And Duck Hunt is it's really cool. And it's a really good game. By the way, as you know, the game came with the original Nintendo Action Set. It was a double game pack, Super Mario and Duck Hunt, and it was a really awesome game. Although the dog didn't appear in the clay pigeon shooting, and the sound effects and music in that one were good too. That with the Duck Hunt music with Duck 1 or Duck 2. Pretty good game. Okay, number 4 is Heavy Shreddin'. Now, Heavy Shreddin' was another one of the first games I ever played when I was growing up. It's a snowboarding game, and it's pretty fun, and you have to go through these obstacles and stuff, and like downhill and slalom, and do stunts and stuff. Gameplay is good, and the music is okay, and the sound effects are really great. And when I was younger, I always liked the game over sound effect, or the penalty sound effect. Now, you may have noticed that they also made another version of the game with the same graphics and the same sound effects, only slower, called Snowboard Challenge. And I've seen gameplays of that, and it's okay, but I think I like the original best. But Snowboard Challenge is okay too. Don't get me wrong. And I've beaten Heavy Shreddin' a few times. I first beat the game probably last year, and the obstacle courses are sometimes difficult, but it's a pretty fun game regardless. Okay, number 3 is Wild Gunman. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why put Duck Hunt at number 5 and Wild Gunman at number 3? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Wild Gunman is my favorite Zapper game for the NES. I mean, truth be told, we all have our favorite games in each category, like Zapper and sports and stuff, but Wild Gunman is the best Zapper game in my opinion. And what you had to do was try to shoot all these outlaws when they say fire, or when you see them in the third level, the third game I mean. And the more faster you shot them, the more points you got, points and the reward. And there's also a scene in Back to the Future Part 2 when Marty McFly shows a couple of kids how to play the game, says he's a crack shot at it. And the graphics and the gameplay and the music is pretty cool, and it's pretty fun. If you haven't played it yet, I recommend you try it. Okay, number 2 is Classic Concentration. Now, why this game, you ask? Well, it's my favorite game show themed NES game of all time. It's based on the game show hosted by Alex Trebek back in the late 80s, early 90s. And gameplay was really good. Gameplay was really good. You have to match numbers and match prizes, and behind the numbers was a rebus puzzle, like a group of symbols make up a familiar word or phrase, and you had to solve it. And every time you did it, you got to go to the car round to try to match 7 cars, and the last car you matched was the one you won. And only 2-3 times in my life I've only solved a puzzle with 3 numbers gone. And pretty good. When I saw the show years back, I always liked the wild card and the takes. They were pretty interesting, and pretty good. As you guys know, I have the Class Concentration book featuring the history of the show and the puzzles and stuff. Sorry. And, yeah, it's a pretty good game. It's a really good game, and the game show's pretty good, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend you watch the show or try the game or whatnot. Pretty cool. Okay. The #1 game that should have been on the NES Mini, in my opinion. It's a personal favorite of mine. I saw this game on Nick Arcade when I first watched it again years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Snow Brothers. Now, Snow Brothers is a really cool game. It's kind of like Bubble Bobble, only different. You had to, you were these snowmen named Nick and Tom, and they were princes who were first turned to snowmen by the evil King Scorch, and he kidnapped their girlfriends, I forget their names, but Tina and whatnot, and what you had to do basically was shoot the snowballs at the enemies and collect things like potions to go faster, or things like lollipops and popsicles and ice creams to get more points and stuff. And the music and gameplay is pretty cool, and there was even bonus stages like a slot machine and stuff. And I first saw this on Nick Arcade when I first started watching it again back in 2005, and it's a pretty cool game, and the music and gameplay is pretty good. And if you haven't played it, I recommend you try it. It's a really awesome game. You're going to love it. Okay, so that's it for the top 10 NES games that should have been on the NES Mini, in my opinion. And if you care to tell me what you think should have been on the NES Mini in your opinion, you can write it in the comments below or whatnot. Okay, and that's it for this. I'll have more cool stuff soon, and I'll see you guys Monday for some game playings, some Sega Genesis playings, and NES playings, and Super NES playings. Okay, so I'll see you guys then. More cool stuff soon. Okay, so until next time, see you guys later, and remember, video game or not, play hard and play safe. See you guys next time. Bye.